So, very good morning, my dear students. I welcome you all into the Industrial Pharmacy First. Dear students, we had started the new topic which is said to be the capsule. And as far as the capsules are concerned, we had already covered most of the details in our two lecture. Now, this will be the very third lecture related with that of the capsule. And in our very last lecture, what we saw how the gelatin, that is the raw material which is to be prepared, which is to be produced, how it is to be obtained, what will be the sources, what will be the evaluation criteria, how the raw materials they will going to be evaluated, right? Then how the process of capsule shell production that will occur and what are the manufacturing requirements, correct? Then we saw the process in which the capsule shell production and its sorting that will be carried out. We had also gone through the process by which the capsules shells they will going to be printed, they will going to be packed. Further, we had gone through the different faults, the different defects that are occurring during the process of production of the capsule shells. There are n number of faults, and these faults we saw in our previous lecture. Then we saw the method by which the capsule shell that is going to be produced. So there is an injection molding process, and this is the schematic representation for the injection molding process. Then we saw the different parts of a capsule, that is the cap and body, the different part and the aspects associated with that. The hard gelatin capsule that is formed by the two different parts, that is the cap and the body. Then the introductory details and how the process by which the capsule that is going to be filled. Actually, this is the particular topic with which we had ended our very last lecture. Now let's continue from this point onward, the hard gelatin capsule. Now during the process of manufacturing of capsule, the process that is divided into the gelatin shell manufacturing and capsule filling. Once we will be having the gelatin shell, that is cap and body, this cap and body is to be filled with that of the material, right? Now it is going to be filled either manually or by automated mechanical method. Now any of the filling process that necessarily comprises, that necessarily consists of the 4 to 5 different steps, and these steps are nothing but the feeding and rectification. Now what the feeding and rectification we saw in our very last lecture with a video representation, right? How the process that will actually carried out in case of an industry, right? So there is a proper feeding of the capsules, particularly the capsule that will containing cap and body. Then there is a rectification that is nothing but the process by which the capsule they will going to be properly oriented. Now this reorientation, that is nothing but the positioning of the capsules in such a way that the cap that will remains onto the lower side and the body that will remains onto the lower side, whereas the cap that will remain onto the upper side. This process is followed by the separation. So separation that will consist of removing the cap from that of the body. So that is because of the process or because of the entrapment of the cap of gelatin shell in such a plate that which will be having slight larger diameter than that of the body. Because of this, the cap that will get lifted up and they will get removed. Whereas at the same time, the body has to be hold, so that the body that should not be come lifted up, get lifted up along with that of the removal of the cap processes. So cap that will get removed, then that will consist of the process which is said to be the filling process. Now, as far as the process of filling are concerned, there are four different methods, like say auger filling, and what the remaining are that we will going to see in next couple of slides. So by these processes, the capsule body that will going to be filled with that of the material. Then there is a joining. So joining process, that is nothing but the placing the caps over onto that of the body, and then there is a slight pressing so that the body that will get locked into that of the cap. And then it is followed by the ejection process. Ejection process, that is nothing but the removal of the completely filled and sealed capsules from that of the plates. So this is the particular machine or the device which is said to be the hard gelatin capsule filling machine, and this is the manually operated one. And how it will going to work and all that we already discussed in our previous lecture. Now this is the method which is said to be the auger, the capsule filling method. Now in that, the very first method is the auger fill method. This is the semi-automated method, and the filling that is primarily volumetric. That means the required amount of volume that is going to be loaded into that of the capsule body. A rotating auger blade that will forces the powder through a feed shoe into the open capsule bodies. So dosing volume that can be controlled by rotation speed of the body ring, rotation speed of design or pitch of the auger, and the level of powder within the drug hopper reservoir. Then there is a mechanical vibration fill method. The principle which is used here is the vibration by which the capsule bodies that will going to be filled. A level sensor that is located in the powder supply chute that will maintain a stable powder layer. Now this layer fills directly into the capsule body facilitated by a vibration plate. The accuracy of the powder field that is improved by the use of an adjustable spring plunger. Now it will remove the air from the powder and creating uniform density. A scraper that will remove any excess fill material before capsule joining. Dosator meter. Dosator, that is nothing but a device in which the required amount of dose that will going to be loaded, and then it is going to be injected, or then it is going to be placed inside of the capsule body. So it is operated by a hollow metal tube which will contain a plunger, which will contain a piston, and that piston is responsible for holding and releasing the material. The dosator consists of a hollow metal tube with a spring-loaded adjustable piston. It is adjusted volumetrically to capture the powder dose. The dosator descends into a rotating dosing bowl of powder that is being maintained at a constant level. Once the dosator reaches the bottom of the powder bed, the powder dose is pre-compressed and then the piston moves downward, forming a plug. The dosator moves out of the powder bed and then aligns over the open capsule body. The piston descends to the bottom of the dosing tube and discharging the dosage plug into the capsule body. The third method by which the capsule that will going to be filled, that is the tamping pin or the dosing disc method. Now it is the fully automated method. A rotating steel dosing disc is mounted at the base of a dosing bowl. The dosing disc has 6 sets of precisely bored holes. As the rotating dosing disc indexes the holes beneath 5 sets of spring-loaded tamping pins, a stationary tamping ring that is seated below the dosing disc that will retains the powder, and after 5 taps, a deflator that will isolates the powder from the disc. A set of transfer pins push the powder plug out of the holes into the capsule bodies. Next is the compression fill method. It is a modified version of the tamping pin and dosing disc method. It employs 4 subhoppers. tapping rods, and a powder molding plate. In the first subhopper, a powder stirring agitator feeds the powder into the bores of the molding plate. In the second and third subhoppers, tapping rods compress the filling powder into the molding plate, forming a powder plug. In the fourth subhopper, a weight adjustment pusher raises the molded plug to a set height above the plate, and at the fifth section, a transfer rod places the finishing slug into the capsule body. Now you can see the representation that will be shown
That
in this
is joining
video.
of the capsule cells. After filling the capsule cells, the joining is done as the cap and the body housing or bushing are then realigned for the capsule closing.
So this is the way by which the capsule joining that will takes place. As far as the filling, then rectification and separation is concerned, that video was already seen in our very last lecture.
Ejection. The lower closing rod or shaft will ascend. This will eject the capsule from the housing or the bushing into a exit chute. Compressed air nozzles are frequently used to assist the ejection of the capsule from the machine, but it only happens in case of automatic filling machines. In manual method, we just use mechanical ejection, as simple.
So this is the way by which the capsules they will going to be removed, they will going to be ejected, and then they will going to be collected as a bad capsule, as a sample capsule, and as a good capsule. The bad capsule, these are nothing but the capsules with the different faults. The sample capsule, that is the sample of the capsule which is going to be collected during the process itself. That is the in process quality control, or in order to ensure that required degree of specifications are going to be achieved or not during the process of capsule filling. So here you can see that this is the particular picture that will going to show that how the processes of the sealing that will occur as far as the capsules are concerned. Once the capsule that will going to be filled and sealed, that will be subjected to the process of the packaging. So there are two different rollers. You can see there is a sealing solution. There is a first sealing unit, there is a second sealing unit, and these are mounted onto a heating plate or the plate heater, onto which there is a sealing solution holder, and inside this sealing solution holder there is a rotating disc, there is a rotating drums, and through above onto which there is a conveyor belt. This conveyor belt that will carries the capsules, and once the capsules that will going to be carried forward, they will going to be sealed. You can see the direction of the rollers and the movement of the conveyor belt. It is exactly into the opposite direction. It is the anti-parallel. The conveyor belt that is moving toward right side, whereas the rollers they will be moving toward the left side. So that will ensures the movement of the capsule into the one direction. Now here you can see there are several advancements that are going to be taking place in case of industry. So the very first step, that is the process in which the capsule orientation and the separation that will occur. In case of second space, which is followed by orientation and then the capsule that is going to be separated. In case of step 3, you can see the capsule cap scanner is there, and which is responsible for completely removed capsules, or the total body that will get completely removed from that of the cap. And the 4, that is nothing but the free for optional pillet or the tablet stations. The 5, that is nothing but the dosing section. Here particularly the dosing station for the powder pellet via the fixed or height adjusting dosing disc. the liquid filling station or the microdosing station that will remains inside this fifth stage. Then there is a sixth stage. So this sixth stage, that is nothing but the free for optional pellet or the tablet station. The seven, that is consisting of the rejection of the faulty capsules. The eight, this is the particular stage for free for optional pellet or the tablet sections. The nine, that is nothing but the capsule closing with the capsule body scanner. The 10, that is nothing but the individual capsule ejection. The 11, that is the individual capsule ejection. And the 12, that is consisting of the segment that is for the cleaning with the compressed air. So these are the recent advancements that you will going to find in case of an industry nowadays. Now, in continuation to this, today again we will begin the new topic, which is said to be the soft gelatin capsule. Now, as far as this soft gelatin capsule is concerned, after going through the slides, the student they should able to understand that what the soft gelatin capsules are there, how the soft gelatin capsule they will going to be filled, what are the various principles and the methods of the soft gelatin capsule filling, and the formulation principles of the soft gelatin capsule. In order to achieve this learning outcome, we have to move through our lesson plan in such a way that the introduction to the soft gelatin capsules, the method of filling of the soft gelatin capsules, the advancements in filling of soft gelatin capsules, the formulation aspects of the soft gelatin capsules. Now, as far as the definition is concerned, what the soft gelatin capsules are, these are nothing but a single unit solid dosage form. So again, the soft gelatin capsule, these are the example of the solid dosage form, and these are the single unit like that of the hard gelatin capsule and the tablets. They will consisting of an liquid or a semi-solid fill. In case of the tablet, in case of the hard gelatin capsule, we cannot administer the liquid or the semi-solid components or the materials. But in case of the soft gelatin capsule, we can go for selection of a liquid or the semi-solid material. The question may be asked into the MCQs or into the GPAT examinations. The soft gelatin capsules, these are enveloped by a one-piece hermetically sealed elastic outer shell. One piece hermetically sealed. Hermetically sealed, that is the airtight sealing. They will be formed, filled, and sealed in one continuous operation, preferably by the rotary die press. So the machinery which is used, that is single operation machinery, and the name is the rotary die press, in which the process of forming, filling, and sealing that will occur continuously in a single operation. As we saw in case of the hard gelatin capsule, the gelatin shells, they will going to be manufactured somewhere, they will be carried somewhere where the process of filling that will carried out. But that is not the case in case of the soft gelatin capsule, as simultaneously formation, filling, and sealing process that will occur in a continuous operation process and as a single process. So subgelatin capsule, why we are going to be having this option as a dosage form? Because there are certain reasons. Now the reason behind selection of the subgelatin capsule is that the strategic reason. The strategic reasons, these are nothing but the line extension. Let's say for example the same drug that is already existing into the tablet or capsule dosage form, hard capsule dosage form. So in order to extend the line of production, we can produce the same in the form of the soft gelatin capsules also. There are technological issues like say the high content uniformity of the low dose drugs. If the dose of drug is low, then in that case, soft gelatin capsule that is highly preferable. Safety aspects, the reduced operator environmental contamination with highly potent and the cytotoxic compounds, right? Because the drugs, these are highly potent, they will be having the narrow therapeutic index, their dose is small and they are of toxic types. So in such a case, in order to ensure the safety, the whole processes of the formation, filling and sealing that will occur continuously as a single step process. Consumer preference because of their soft nature. So these are easy to swallow through the esophagus. The advantages of these soft gelatin capsules because they are easy to swallow, right? So that is the advantage associated with the soft gelatin capsule, and because of which there is a no test, there is a unit dose delivery, and there is a tamper proofing. Now, there is a wide variety of the colors, shapes, and the size that are available as far as these capsules are concerned. They will accommodate a wide variety of compounds filled, such as semi-solid, liquid, gels, or the paste, which is not possible with that of the hard gelatin capsule or with that of the tablets. Now, there is a immediate or the delayed drug delivery with the help of use of capsules, like say the soft gelatin capsules. We can go for modifying the drug release, either say the immediate release or the delayed release. They can be used to improve the bioavailability by delivering the drug in solution or other absorption enhancing media. We know that the liquids, these are better absorbed and shows the improved bioavailability compared to that of the solids. So with the help of soft gelatin capsule, we can go for entrapping, we can go for enclosing the liquid or the solutions inside of the soft gelatin capsule, so that will improve the process of absorption. There are certain disadvantages. Now, these disadvantages can be summarized as you can see onto the screen, that will require the special manufacturing equipment, right? As we require the rotary die press for the process of manufacturing of the soft gelatin capsule, where the process of formation, filling, and sealing that will occur simultaneously. The stability concerns with highly water soluble compounds and compounds susceptible to the hydrolysis. These cannot be given with the help of the soft gelatin capsule. So that is again the disadvantage or the limitation. Limited choices of the excipients carriers compatible with the gelatin because of the nature of the gelatin, because of its strength. So there is a less uh, choice of the excipients, or very least compatible excipients are available. As far as the composition in formation of the soft gelatin capsules are concerned, we require the several ingredients like say the shell material, plasticizer, water, preservative, coloring agent, opacifying agent, flavoring, and the sweetening agents. Flavoring and the sweetening agent in order to improve the palatability, opacifying agent in order to protect the drug from that of the effect of uh, sunlight, or not to have the transparency into the formed capsules. Coloring, again, it will improve the appearance. It will be useful in order to identify it, in order to improve the elegance. Preservative, because these are made up of from the gelatin, so which is highly susceptible to the microbial attack, for which we require the preservative materials. Water, that could be used as a vehicle. Plasticizer, in order to impart the nature of elasticity, there is need to add the plasticizer, and single plasticizer, or sometime two, or sometime more than two, and they are in the combination, they can be used. Shell material, generally the most preferable material, that is the gelatin of the special grade, of the special bloom strength, that can be used, polyvinyl alcohol, and the carrageenan. These materials can be used as a shell material for the process of soft gelatin capsule preparation. Now, on the basis of solubility, the material that is to be filled, they can be hydrophilic solvents, or the lipophilic materials, or the hydrophilic surfactants, lipophilic surfactant, and the co-solvents. So these are the material which could be used as a composition and as a vehicle. So this is the schematic representation. You can see there is a soft gelatin capsule which will consist of a inner film matrix, which will be shown by S, and that is surrounded by the gelatin shell, which is the material that will contain the plasticizer, water as a vehicle, and the gelatin as a gelatin shell material. We can go for entrapping the solution of the drug lipophilic film matrix, suspension of a drug lipophilic film matrix, solution of a drug hydrophilic film matrix, and the suspension of a drug hydrophilic film matrix. Solution or suspension of a drug in lipophilic or the hydrophilic film matrix with the gastro-resistant or the delayed release coat that can be given, and the soft gelatin capsules that can be produced with the help of method which is said to be the film coating. Now, what are the prerequisites? The prerequisite that will consist of the selection of the appropriate shell material, selection of the appropriate fill composition, and the optimization of these two for the physical and the chemical stability. Like say, in order to offer the soft nature, the proper selection of the shell material with the required degree of the gel strength or the softness properties that is required. So in order to give again soft nature, there is need to add the plasticizer. The material, they should be properly selected in order to fill inside of the soft gelatin capsule so that there should not be any kind of interaction, leakage, or mixing with that of the gelatin shell material, or it should not come out of soft gelatin material. Optimization of these two that should be selected out properly, or they should be chosen properly so that there should be a chemical and the physical stability as far as the shell material is concerned and as far as the composition of the film material is concerned. The gelatin which is used, that should be with the gel strength of 150 to 200 bloom. So this is the ideal in order to produce the soft gelatin capsule. The viscosity that should be 2.8 to 4.5 millipascal, and this can be achieved by selecting the 6 to 23% weight by weight addition of the gelatin material or the shell formation material inside of in the water, and which could be heated at 60 degrees Celsius. The gelatin that should have the well controlled degree of the viscosity breakdown, that is the well defined particle size that will allow the fast dissolution and deaeration of the molten mass. Even at high gelatin concentrations, a broad molecular weight distribution to provide a fast setting and the fusion temperature that is being well below the melting temperature of the plasticized wet film. Here you can see there is a graphical representation which will shows the graph against the time versus foam volume. You can see the three different graph. That is the first that is shown by the red color, second that is shown by the blue color, and the third that is with the help of the green color. The first that will show the high foam formation and the high stability. Second, again the high foam formation, low stability. The third one that is with the less foam formation and the stability, less stability. Among all these, if we see, there are the two different phases. The first that is the foam formation, and the second that is associated with that of the stability. So mostly among all these three, we require the very first one, that is the red one, which will possess the high degree of the stability. As far as the moisture content is concerned, you can see if the moisture content that will remains more than that of the 11%, the capsules which are going to be obtained in the form of the soft gelatin capsules, the normal capsules will be only 15% that could be obtained, and 85% that will be sticky, so which is not desired one. So in order to get the desired capsule, that is the with moisture content that is less than 11%. Right. So if we select the moisture content less than 11%, then in that case we can have the sticky capsules only up to 6%, whereas the normal capsule they will be up to 94%, and that is highly desirable one. The plasticizer material is concerned, you can see the glycerol that can be used as a plasticizer material. So glycerol in the 85% and the 98% weight by volume, weight by weight that can be used. The sorbitol is also selected. Then the sorbitan is selected. The solution propylene glycol and the low molecular weight polyethylene glycol, that is the PEG 200. If you see the plasticizer, the strength of the shell that will depend on the ratio by weight of the dry plasticizer to that of the dry gelatin. This is most important and that need to be chosen, selected carefully because the high plasticizer concentration, like say the drug plasticizer, if it is 1 is to 0.4, so that is desired in case of the soft gelatin capsule, whereas for hard gelatin capsule, it is the drug to plasticizer ratio that should be 1 is to 0.8. So it is exactly double. Soft gelatin capsule, you can see the plasticizer. These are directly interacting plasticizers. So they will possess the higher degree of reduction in glass transition temperature of the gelatin during the preparation. And they are responsible for maintaining the crystal formation within the sol gel network, which is most effective and the stable one. There is a slight increase in the hygroscopicity, and there is an example of the glycerol that could be used as a plasticizer. Indirectly interacting plasticizer, these are very minute of reduction in glass transition temperature of gelatin during preparation. They will be having the moisturizing effect. They will doesn't maintain the crystal formation within the sol gel network. These are less effective, unstable, and mostly used in combination. That is the indirectly interacting plasticizer. Examples are the sorbitol and the sorbitan combination. The factors which we need to be considered for filling the material inside of this soft gelatin capsule, that is the temperature. So temperature, that is nothing but the between the range of 37 to 40 degrees Celsius. That is the ideal temperature which is to be maintained for the material to be filled inside of the soft gelatin capsule. The proper viscosity need to be maintained. There is a surface activity and the particle size of the suspended drug, that is most important in case of the suspension. Now there are certain considerations which we have to understand. These are said to be the formulation consideration and they will be responsible for producing the possible interactions. The interactions, they might be chemical or the physical one. Chemical reactions of the field components with the gelatin and the plasticizer that is going to be occurring. So gelatin and the plasticizer, that is between these two, the chemical reaction that will occur. Then the physical interaction that will involve the migration of the field component in or out through the shell and the vice versa. The inside field material may come out or sometimes the components from the shell material, they may go and they may dissolve into the field material. The water content of the field should not exceed a critical value of percent of about 5%. Now, in order to minimize the hydrolysis and oxidation of the formulation, we do use the gelatin with the high bloom strength and the low viscosity, because the high bloom strength that will ensure the gel formation property and the low viscosity that will ensure the faster rate of drying. So that will ensure the faster drying of the capsules. Replacement of a single plasticizer by a blend of two or more or minimize the diffusion of the APIs into the shell. Coating of the drug particles to inhibit the browning reaction. We need to coat the particles. Post-treatment and the coating, again this is the formulation consideration that will enhance the stability of the formulation, which will include the aldehyde treatment. But it's very difficult because the low surface roughness and intrinsic insolubility of the shell components into the organic solvents, which will result to the non-adherence of the coating material to the shell. How the soft gelatin capsules these are to be prepared? They will going to be prepared through these stages, like say the gelatin preparation, field material preparation, followed by the encapsulation. So the gelatin preparation is the process of blending the heating granulated gelatin and other ingredient in warm water in a gelatin melting tank. The color may be added during the melting process or in a separate machine. Field material preparation. Preparation equipment may include the processing tanks, mixers, vacuum homogenizers, and the sieves along with the mills. Followed by the encapsulation, converting the gel mass into a thin layer of gelatin and wrapping it around the field material to form a soft gel. That will followed by the drying in order to remove the excess moisture from the gelatin shell to shrink and firm up the soft gel. either by tumbling or by a combination of the tumbling and tray drying. Then followed by the cleaning, inspection and sorting of the defective, and often that will require the prior to the packaging based upon the intended use of the soft gelatins. Here you can see there is a schematic representation for the single station rotary dice press. You can see there is a gelatin tank which will hold the gelatin material or the gel. Then it will be passed over onto a cooling drum. There is a spreader which will spread it uniformly across the roller. So that will lead to the process by which a film is going to be produced. This film, which is called as the ribbon, it will pass over to the injection wedge. This is the injection wedge which is present between the two rollers. These are the die rollers. You can see from both the sides there is a gelatin film, and inside which there is a product pump. So which will continuously add the material, or it will add intermittently based on the adjustments and all. Then there is a chute. This chute that is responsible for separation of the capsules, subgelatin capsule, which will be passed over through the conveyor belt, which will carry it to the process of the packaging. Subgelatin capsule, there are different components: product pump, injection wedge, and the roller. So these are the injection wedge, these are the roller, and this is the product pump. Product pump that will be either attached or it is separate. It is the injection time adjustment that might be operated manually or electronically. Injection wedge, that is manual or pneumatic. Pneumatic, that is the injection through the with the help of use of the airs. And rollers, they may be of the electronic or the pneumatic pressure based. The ribbon system, that is electronic or the pneumatic. Oil quantity adjustment that is required either electronically or manually. Then there is a collection assembly which will be collected by the chute or the divider, and there is a adjustment of the speed which could be fixed or which could be a variable. Conveyor belt, that might be either unidirectional or bidirectional. Now, in process, some of the tests need to be performed onto the soft gelatin capsules. That is the gel ribbon thickness. There is need to have the uniform thickness of the gel material, gel ribbon. Soft gel thickness at the time of the encapsulation. Fill material wet, fill matrix wet, and the capsule shell wet. This has to be performed. Soft gel shell moisture level and the soft gel hardness at the end of the drying stage. So these are some of the in-process quality control. Some of the finished product tests, that is the capsule appearance, active ingredient assay, and the related substance assay. Some of the fill weight, content uniformity, and the microbiological testing. The limitations of the soft gel capsules, because the liquids that can easily migrate through the gelatin shell, such as water, more than 5% of the film, and hygroscopic and the volatile compounds. Aldehydes, which have the ability to harden the shell, and hence they will affect the dissolution properties. So these are the limitation. Acidic or the alkaline solution should be avoided, because unless they are pictures on a blackboard, adjusted to become neutral. Acids and alkalis that can cause hydrolysis and the leakage of the gelatin shell. Water soluble solid compounds that may affect the gelatin shell unless they are minor constituents of a formula or combined with a carrier that reduces their effect on the shell. So in the summary, here we will going to end this lecture. The soft gelatin capsules as a dosage form and their importance we saw, the method of filling of the soft gelatin capsule, advancements of the soft gelatin capsule filling technology that was also discussed in this lecture, and formulation considerations of the soft gelatin capsules. So dear students, here particularly we will going to end this lecture. Thank you very much. Have a good day to you all.